Pandemic's lingering effects still affecting Americans, studies reveal. About 1 in 5 American adults, in both spring 2020 and spring 2021, indicated probable depression after 1 year of the COVID-19 pandemic. The endurance of symptoms might be lessened to some extent by having some financial resources. COVID-19's long-term impact on the mental health of the American people has been shown in a recent study. In March 2020, we initiated a countrywide survey to measure mental health and assets throughout the country. Deaths from COVID-19 were on the increase, and the government declared a state of emergency. Staying at home was encouraged as schools, companies and the government shut down. That time, we discovered that 27.8% of individuals in the United States showed depressive symptoms such as a lack of interest in previously enjoyed activities or a sense of hopelessness. The pre-pandemic estimate of 8.5% was 3 times higher than this figure. Depression rates remained higher year after the pandemic began, despite encouraging indicators that infections and fatalities were decreasing. Doctors and patients alike lined up for COVID-19 vaccines in April 2021, and attempts to reopen society were underway. In our poll, 32.8% of respondents reported having depressive symptoms at that age. Worse still, the higher 2021 figure includes 20.3% of respondents who experienced depressive symptoms in both April 2020 and April 2021. Mental illness was widespread and persisted beyond the epidemic, according to one study. The assets, financial, physical, and social, that may affect people's mental health during the epidemic were equally important to us. Those who entered the pandemic with a lack of financial resources were more likely to be impacted by COVID-19 related stressor in our initial survey. Mental health and asset status were of interest to us in our April 2021 follow-up survey. We looked at personal savings, tangible assets like a house, and social assets like education and marital status when assessing a person's wealth. We examined persons who had comparable marital status, educational attainment, and house ownership to see how they fared. More than 3 times as many adults with annual household incomes under $20,000 reported chronic depressive symptoms as those with annual household incomes above $75,000.